Check Your Heart by John Crist is JBo and Yoshi on Boost 1019, and we are actually chatting with John Crist right now.
Now you wrote the song Check Your Heart, and now and it kind of reminds me, or not the song itself. The song is I love it. It's dope.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of the comedian Weird Al, like where he.
Oh yeah, like parody song. Yeah.
Yeah. Where do you feed your creativity from?
Check Your Heart is kind of like a viral saying that I have in my stand-up show. But I talked to Michael. I was like, hey, we should make a single out of this. And he said, these guys are like professional, like hip hop artists. They're not going to do something that's like hokey.
Right.
And you would say the same thing about Weird Al. It'd be like, it's clever and it's like kind of goofy with the lyrics maybe, but artistically and like instrumentally, they can compete with anybody.
Right.
It's produced well.
Yes, very well produced. And he was like, if we're going to do it, if 1K and Dill are going to come aboard, they got to know that, you know, we got money behind this, that we're going to like fund it and we're going to make it. Because Dylan, when we were writing it, Dylan had a verse, I had a verse. I go, I know how to make something like clever and funny. I don't know how to make it like match up with like the rhymes and like sound good. And he's like,
right.
He took his part and I took my part and we kind of collaborated. I was like, it would be funnier if you said it like this. And then I had mine and he would like, instrumentally, it would make more sense if you said it like this. So we kind of helped each other out.
So you guys helped each other make it work.
Yeah, we all went into the studio and like ordered a bunch of food and like I was like, I felt like I was part of the crew. I was like, yo, we're making hits right now. And he's like, yeah, we do this every day.
Yeah, we in the studio, drop a beat,
with some pizza, you know?
Right.
I was like, turn me up in the headphones. He's like, yo, we don't actually do that. I was like, oh my bad.
It's time to test those comedic skills. We're gonna play a game called Agree or Disagree, and let's see if John really has what it takes. To Dash and Got Flex on Boost 1019. We're JBo and Yoshi chatting it out with John Crist, and we're going to play a game. We're going to put his comedic improv skills to the test.
Okay, so this game is called Agree or Disagree. And basically, what you have to do is you have to say we'll say a statement, and you have to tell us why you agree or disagree. But the catch is you have to tell us that you agree or disagree before we say the statement.
Oh, I like this. Yeah, I like this. And then I got to defend it afterwards.
Exactly.
The first one I'm going to disagree with.
It's better to use sunscreen than to get burned.
See, disagree, because if you're traveling, you're out of town, you're only going to be there for a certain amount of time. What are you going to do? You'd rather not get tan and come home to upstate New York and be white all winter, or you're going to get a sunburn, sacrifice for 2 days, and then enjoy being darker for everyone else the whole rest of the winter.
What? Oh my God. All right. Okay. Disagree or agree?
Disagree.
Dogs are cooler than snails.
Okay, first of all, it's dogs. First of all, whenever you ever seen a dog and be like, that's unbelievable, look at the color. They got one fur and it's uncomfortable and it's gross. You ever seen a kid walking around in the pond looking for a dog? No, you haven't. What are they looking for? Snails. Boom.
I am somehow convinced.
They got a skin and a shell. Does the dog have that? No, it doesn't.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, we got another one. So agree or disagree?
Agree.
Watching sports is bad for your health.
Yeah, watching sports is bad for your health because as a guy, the only reason we watch sports is because we're fantasizing about playing them. Like, why watch someone else's dreams come true when you can go live your own? Like, you should go join a rec league and play softball yourself instead of watching baseball. It's way more fun.
Coming from a sports guy, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to give you an agree. I'm going to pick one from agree because I want to hear what you have to say about this. Are you ready?
Okay. All right. Agree.
Okay. Picking up doggy doo-doo is better with your hands than a pooper scooper.
Oh, it's way better with your hands because, you know, like God gave us this planet and this universe to take care of. You know how much it costs to manufacture that plastic and all the toxins they're putting out into the ozone? That came out of someone's body. You need to connect with it. Then it'll build up your immunity so you won't get sick in the future. I played a lot of games. You can't give a comedian that game. He'll win that every time.
Talking to John Crist with JBo and Yoshi on Boost 1019. You may want to be a little quick quicker on your feet, or maybe like improv or comedy is something you're interested in, well, improv is a part of life. You got to know what to say at a certain time. So John's going to pull the curtain back a little bit and let you in.
Boost 1019.
Boost 1019. We're JBo and Yoshi talking it up with John Crist, comedian turned rapper. All right, he's only done Check Your Heart, so I guess you could say he's more of a comedian than he is a rapper.
So now doing all these comedy skits, because I assume, you're on tour quite a bit and you're doing a lot of shows throughout the year. And you also, think of new jokes all the time. How do you know that it's at that certain point that, okay, this is good enough for me to start to perform this joke?
Well, I usually throw out a new joke right in the middle of like two big jokes. So at the end of the day, no one's going to know the difference if the joke doesn't work, But you kind of have to, before you can write a joke, you got to throw it out there and see if people kind of connect or relate to the idea. You know what I'm saying? So the joke I'm going to say tonight is like my nephew is named Ezekiel, like named after the prophet in the Old Testament who like survived Babylonian captivity, yet this kid has like a severe peanut allergy. You know what I'm saying? So like maybe he shouldn't be named after a warrior in the Old Testament if this guy faints if he sees milk. You know what I'm saying? But that's probably all I'll say. I'll just like throw that out there and then I'll move on. So you kind of see if people relate to it, if they know what you're talking about, if they get it. And if they do, tomorrow night, I'll probably build it out. I'll be like, I got a friend named David. He doesn't know how to play any musical instruments.
Man.
You can't really write it without performing it. If I was just texting with you two, you guys have a different perspective on what's funny than other people do. So you kind of have to do it in front of a large crowd, which that's the scary thing about it, but it's also the most rewarding.
With JBo and Yoshi talking to comedian John Crist. If 15-year-old John Crist worked at your Chick-fil-A, you probably wouldn't want to drink the lemonade.
Boost 1019 is JBo and Yoshi. It's a good morning because we're getting to hang out with John Crist.
So I heard you got fired from Chick-fil-A from making lemonade the wrong way.
Okay. Well, that's first of all, I did get fired, but I didn't make it the wrong way. I made it the right way. I just did use I couldn't find a stir for all the ingredients, so I just stirred it with my hand. I can't do that.
The natural stir, right?
Yeah, apparently that wasn't covered in the handbook because they assumed no one would do that.
Oh my gosh. So if you had to describe the way to make lemonade, how would you do it?
Okay, well, it's all natural, the lemonade in there, so it's just lemon juice, water, and sugar. So that's pretty easy to follow. And then they do it in like a big 5-gallon thing. That's the problem. So you got to look around for this huge ladle, which I couldn't find. I was like 15 years old. Everybody's like, we need the lemonade now. The customers are angry. People are like rioting, and I was like, fine, I'll just stir it myself. 'Cause that's the same attitude as a comedian. The comedian basically is just breaking the rules. That's what he's doing. But he's just saying things that you thought you weren't allowed to say. So it makes me a successful comedian. Also makes me a bad Chick-fil-A employee. You know what I'm saying? For example.
Did you ever end up drinking the lemonade from Chick-fil-A?
Come on, dude. I didn't, the only reason I didn't drink it because it was sold out immediately because it must have been an extra little flavoring. It was very popular. It tasted like lotion.
It tasted like lotion. Cocoa butter. Extra cocoa butter.
Yeah, you got it.
Boost 1019. We're JBo and Yoshi talking to John Crist. Mental health is no longer a taboo thing. How does John Crist deal with depression? It's Swoop and Hall of Fame on Boost 1019. Happy Friday. We're JBo and Yoshi chatting it up with comedian John Crist. Now, John, you've admitted to dealing with depression. And mental health is no longer like a taboo thing, but the church doesn't really know how to teach on how to deal with mental health. So how do you deal with your depression as a Christian?
The comic is just kind of like, the comic will always say it. He'll be the first guy to say it. Just verbalizing it is kind of like the hardest part, you know what I'm saying? Like, There'll be a comic that has a joke about like the cable installer left the house when I was a kid, just like my dad, or something like that. It's like it's funny, but it's a truth to him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
His dad did leave, but it's also like I got jokes in my show about I'm not like a real man because I don't know anything about tools, or I don't know how to like, I don't know how to change the oil in my car or anything like that. But we laugh about it, but it is a real insecurity of mine. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's very therapeutic to like make a joke and everybody kind of laugh at it. And then, like, when these things come into light, they lose kind of their
power, man.
Every time I've struggled with anything, whether it be alcohol or anxiety or depression or pornography, or list all the things that everybody struggles with, whenever you say it, everyone else, for the most part, is like, yeah, same, dude.
Yeah, real talk.
Wait, you're like, wait, what? Like, yeah, dude.
So do you make jokes about dealing with depression on stage?
I have like a joke about it's hard for men to understand the Bible because we don't really know the terms. Like, it's like Jesus in the parable of the farmer and the scattered seed. We're like, dude, I didn't grow up a farmer. I don't know. I don't know what any of these terms mean. And then if I make a joke like, well, if they made the Bible, if they rewrote it for like today, it was like Jesus in the parable of like the Instagram influencer. Like, one day there was a kid that was really lonely and sad. And like, I make that kind of joke.
Oh, man.
That just sounds sad.
The thing is, you're talking about yourself. You're messed up, dude.
Yeah, I know. Comedy's the only job I can have.
Well, man, we appreciate you so much.
Y'all are the best. Let's do it again sometime soon when my next single comes out.
Let's do it. Drop a beat.
It's JBo and Yoshi getting to hang out with John Crist. If you want to keep following him, you can on social at John B. Crist. It's Boost 1019.